Good day, class. I am Miss Darcy Gia, or you can call me Miss Darcy, and I will be your teacher for today. But before anything else, everyone please stand for the prayer. All together, in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Okay, you can take your seats now. Wow, I see a lot of happy faces today, and everything's clean. Your chairs are arranged properly. Good job. Keep it up, class. Now, may I ask if anyone is absent today? None? Very good. So before we open up the topic for today, I have here an egg. As you can see on the egg surface, it is a graph of the function j of x as x approaches to 3. So the limit here is 3. So now I have a challenge for you. And my challenge for you is to try to break this egg without actually breaking it. So do you think is this possible? Well, yes, of course, if you will follow specific rules or guidelines. So what you're going to do is to lie the tip of this egg in both of your palms, like this, in both of your palms, and then try to press it as much as you can, stronger as you can be. So now we can see that my force has a limit. So we'd like to give it a try. Yes, Mr. Tagalog, okay? In case mag-okyat yung itlog, kung kami na atay, reserva. So come here and give it a try. Alright, so thank you so much, Mr. Tagalog. Now, what do you think will be our topic for today? Yes, Miss Nora. Of course, we will still be dealing about limits, and specifically, we will evaluate limits using limit laws. It's good mga guidelines, rules, laws. So we will be dealing today with limit laws. So someday siya limit laws. So limit laws are individual properties of limits used to evaluate the limits of different functions without going through a detailed process. So limit laws are useful in calculating limits because calculators and graphs do not always lead to the correct answer. So graphically ay hindi ka makaingon na accurate din siya. And giingan na nila without going through a detailed process. But later on, need na siya step by step. Pero siya napaka-complicate niyang process. But lagi siya step by step process. Alright. So before we delve deeper into our topic today, let me present first my learning outcomes. So at the end of the discussion, 90% of the students will be able to describe each limit law, appreciate the importance of understanding the relation of limit laws in solving limits, and perform step-by-step calculations applying fundamental laws, limit laws accurately to solve limit problems. So now, I have here imagine-type questions about evaluating algebraic expressions. So I know that this is not new to you. So I will give you 1 minute to try first on your desk, and then when time is up, I will call somebody to match their answers on the board. Understood? Alright, so ready or not, your timer starts now. Okay, time is up. So for number 1, please go to the board and match your answer, Miss Rosales. Number 2, Miss Rosa Semia. Number 3, Miss Villardo. Number 4, Miss Wagas. Number 5, Dayday. Number 6, Arabis. And number 7, Miss Alahi. Please go to the board and match your answers. Alright, now we will evaluate your answers UNT. So National High School naman in NHS, no? So they were too busy na kuhanin si Parable from the moment they met. Grabe, college of the story. Alright, so to formally begin, ano yun siyang on. Alright, so I'd like to read the first sentence and then give a short insight about this statement. Yes, Miss Villardo. Thank you so much, Miss Villardo, for your insight. Yes, since the keyword here is unchanged, since we're talking about constant limit or the constant law. So, ano niya siya ang first na mga combine, it's still negative 6. Though, come up at the same sa pag-substitute na to sa value kanina, easily. Pero kailangan na ito i-show step by step kung giunsa na to. Aron way maglubog. Aron haksay tanan. Alright. And then next, we will proceed to the sum and difference. Manamatan mo sa duha. So, aron the sum and difference. Actually, uban na nalinako sila. So, in sum and difference law, in the beginning of the relationship, yes naman kasi they went through both good times and tough times together. And they understood that experiencing ups and downs was just a normal part of being in a relationship. So good times meaning ups and their downs is their tough times together. So ups is the sum and downs is the difference. But kay bawal silang operate kasi totoo na sila. So kay bawal silang plus and minus. Kaya rin kaayo. Nakapalay na naghapon. So the limit of a sum and difference of two functions is equal to the sum and difference of the limits. So mo i-plug in or i-substitute ang value and then imuhang i-simplify or perform the operation. If it is kanang sum na siya, I mean if it is addition na siya or subtraction. So the limit f of x plus j of x. So today, bantayan ninyo nga duha na ang function. Duha na siya ka function. So model kung makainunta na nag-direct tough times together, okay? Na-involve ng mga third parties, like that. So, ang atong buhatan is ato lang siya i-perform ang operations after natong ma-plug in ang mga values sa x as depende ba sa i-approach yung x. So, for example, diri x plus 5. So, duha na siya, no? The first one is kaning x. So, di siya literal na function din siya, guys. Kaya naman we can still use the constant. So, basta kaya as long as na ang operation nga plus, I mean this plus sign, addition. Okay, as x approaches to negative 2, what do you think would be the answer? What would be half of 3? So, let's find out. So, the limit of x or the function x is still, as x approaches to negative 2 is negative 2. Negative 2 plus the limit of a constant 5 is still 5. And then simplify negative 2 plus 5 is 3. So we still get the same answer as we substitute the value of x ganyan earlier. So karon sa difference na sa ta. Mo lagi po itong buhaton at lagi akong i-plug in ang values. Plug in ang values sa mga function or sa mga variables. Okay, as is naman yan sa constant. So 4 times, ilaro na lang ako, di na namin ipakita step by step since ako naman ito nakuhaan ganina. Okay, mo naman magbasa. Important dyan nga, step by step na to. Alright, so now 4 times, i-plug in ako ang negative 5, ay ang variable or sa x. So 4 times negative 5 is negative 20 minus 2 or the constant is still 2. So minus 2 is negative 22. So check. Mo rin ako siya ang limit, no? Limit. Alright, now let us move forward to the kapilanan siya. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 law, which is the products law. So words and functions are multiplied. Still, pare-pareho na po siya sa sum and difference, but dahil na lang ang operation. Paano siya? Multiplication na siya. So, ang nakita po sa ilang nila yung pwede nga part is, di ba na, to ara, di ba na naman sila yung tough times together. So, like many relationships, the initial spark tends to fade over time. So, may laging susubod ang tanan. As they progress, the challenges and moments of irritation seem to outweigh the happy moments. So, mas labi na kung ang adlaw, ang maglali sila kaysa magkasinabot sila. Oh, dalawa na. Di na masabdan ang lang mga ipag-surya kaya hindi na sila magmino sa usa-usa. Palapuan na lang. Alright, so kung na siya product na times 2 na times 5 ang pag-bot or ang sa makanya then followed by the function of x, or the limit of the function of x as x approaches to negative 6. So 3 times, lagi na to, it's negative 6. So negative 6 divided times 3 is negative 18 divided by 2. It's negative 9. And then we have here the powers and roots of the last statement. So they are the most complex daw. If less than 0, imaginary in roots limit. So ngayon tama, medyo critical na ganyan din. So sa kanila sa power law. So ganina na, nagkabuhay na si Bitcoin and Kai. How about in power law? As the saying goes, love conquers all. Wow, big word. As long as both of you continue to reflect on how and why you began your relationship, remembering the moments when you worked through minor challenges and cherish the simple joys together. So if you would like to hinumduman on some difference, love will ultimately prevail. So that's the power of love. So power, really emphasize that it's power law. Diba? So the limit of the power of a function is the power of the limit of the function. So the limit f of x to the power of n as x approaches to a is equal to the limit f of x as x approaches to a raised to the power n. So we have here an example. X raised to the power of 4. The limit x to the power of 4 as x approaches to 2. So simply, ito na siyang i-plug in ang 2. So 2 to the power of 4. Ngayon tama complex guro kay naman may chances or times na ito natin kita na ito o multiply in this. I-multiply na ito kaupat ang yung mga galingon. I-multiply yung number ko 2 times 4 is 8. So wrong also is 16, not 8. And then lastly, we have here the root law. So if less than 0, kuno kay imaginary. Right, so in root law, after 16 lovely years of being together, grabe naman sa meantime, travel na rin sila. So never entertaining thoughts of separation or division. Dili na ko negotiate ko, dili na ko naman gusto ito buwagay. And then staying together during life's ups and downs. Katong mga samang difference. Ako sa kayo na dyan ka, o saan ito pa-operate, hindi dyan mo maunsa. And then multiplying not arguments but lovely moments. So nalagay ang main ingredients. Dili ko no multiply ang katong mga tough times, ang arguments, but ang lovely moments, di ba nawa na dapat ang spark. So dili ko siya may dapat. And lastly, respecting each other's boundaries and limitations. So that is when we stand ka karon sa pag-evaluate sa limit. So dapat namin respeto sa usaan, then mo na siya ng behavior sa root law. Diba na siya balay-balay. So as you can see, it is a happy ending for Dikoy and Dikay. Pregnant na si Dikay. Diba? Pregnant na si Dikay. Okay, so much for that. So you can observe, no, sa ito ang last na example. Dili na kayo sa last. If hindi na naka-observe mo, nga ang mga laws kay connected din sila with one another because makita natin diri sa root law na diri ang sama difference, tapos siya diri product law, na constant law, na sa identity law, wala lang siya ikuan kanang quotient law, but makita siya mo ang ilahang connection. So need siya mo siya i-master, master mo ka mga basic para maka-follow ka sa Okay, so your instruction is, if it's your group's turn, so you will line up here horizontally facing the board. So I will write your instructions here, and then each member of the group will contribute. So one step at a time, evaluate mo until you reach your final answer. So you will be given 2 minutes to evaluate your functions na akong i-give ninyo. So the group who has the shortest amount of time evaluating their functions and got it right will be given 10 points, and then the group that follows will be given 9, then 8, 7, and 6. Alright, so now let's do it. Alright, so much for the peer activity. To ensure that everyone understands the lesson, let us check for understanding. So in a 1/2 crosswise, solve the following using the limit laws. And please show each step. Alright, time is up. Please pass your papers in front in the count of 5. 5, 4, 3, 2,